Welcome to Stuff Lab. I'm Gwen.
And I'm Marty.
And today we're doing facts, Marty.
Yeah.
You got some guesses on what we're doing?
Okay, so, I'm really hoping for a Mothman, because I just want to know more about him. Shoot.
I mean, I have a slot open for a Mothman if you really want a Mothman.
I would toss up between Mothman, Jay the Killer, and Slenderman. So you can pick one of those.
Okay.
Okay. Is it any of those?
No.
Okay.
You have one guess.
Vampires?
Basically,
Basically?
the Vrykolakas.
Bless you.
Thanks. Okay, so where do you think the Vrykolakas come from?
I have never heard of that, but it sounds European.
Europe's a good place to start.
Russia.
Oh, hold on.
Because they always kind of seem to share
Lower.
lore.
You just gotta let me know when you're done guessing.
I'm gonna say Greenland.
Greenland?
Yep.
Big one's Greenland, right?
Yep.
And the little one's Iceland.
And that's it.
That's it?
Yep.
Well-
Skipped Iceland.
They're actually a little boot part.
Oh, that.
A little boot part of Italy there.
Oh, I give him a lot more space.
Well, I mean, it's okay. It's okay.
Okay. I forget sometimes that you just let me keep on naming things until I'm done. So I always just assume they're way bigger than they are.
So the answer was Greece,
Okay. All right.
specifically in southern Italy, or the heel of the boot of Italy.
Okay.
And I believe it's pronounced Salento. All right, description.
I have no idea.
All right.
I've never heard of this before.
Oh, human, very similar to that of the modern day vampire.
Okay.
But they look drained and unattractive until they feed. So they're just very wispy.
So not to pick on any group of people, but like early 2000s goth.
I don't know.
No. The white face paint and just very looking all the time.
No idea. They do not decay, but when they feed, their bodies will swell and they'll begin to look healthier.
Okay.
I'll get some habitties. So they'll begin to look more and more human
The more they feed.
the more they feed.
Okay.
Diet. What?
Well, you said feed, so
Eat?
eat things.
Yeah, okay, what kind of things do you think they eat?
People, because it's lore, so they always eat people. Okay, can you tell me how they feed? Are they like vampires? Or do they suck blood, or do they just like eat like a werewolf? Or I've never heard of these things.
There is a very particular part of a human that they eat. So in your
So there's
brain, go
three.
through the game of
So-
operation.
Okay, so there's 3 things that I can imagine, 4 things that I can imagine
All right,
the undead eating. Number 1,
hit me with it.
heart,
Next.
kidneys, liver, adrenal gland.
All right, you get to pick one of these from the list to keep.
Oh, what? So one of them is right.
One of them is correct.
I'm gonna say that these guys eat the liver.
Sand liver?
Yes. Nice.
Nice. Good job.
Those are always like, whenever you hear about weird lore, it's always one of those things that you always end up eating out of people. So.
I guess organ meat's supposed to be good for you, just not too much of it. I mean,
Sweet, I got something right on something I have no idea about.
good job guessing.
Yeah.
Predators.
Are these things
so,
only hands? Are these because the only picture I've seen of these are just hands?
Again, so here's my problem. Story time, everybody. Here's my problem getting images for these videos sometimes. So, like, most of the images I have on here are from a site called Unsplash.
Okay.
Well, it's a vampire, so most vampire pictures are a person dressed in modern day clothing. And have like the fake teeth and like blood droolies. But that's not how these are described.
Yeah.
So I just went and found some pictures of
Undead stuff.
Spooky, creepy things.
Okay. Okay.
I don't know if you can tell, but there's also hands around this tree.
Yeah.
And there's no way a person would fit behind that. There ain't no way.
I certainly would not.
I wouldn't either.
If I'm like a redwood, maybe I'd be lying behind that. Okay, no, that was just my question. I was just making a joke because the only pictures I've seen of these are just hands and now hands. So I just thought it was funny.
Well, they just look like a very withered human unless they're eating.
Ah, so withery. Okay, so anyways, predators.
So predators. It's not obviously people are the predator. Mm-hmm. Tell me what do you do to kill these or keep them from coming back or keeping your loved ones from reanimating into one?
Oh, I mean, I'm just gonna go through the typical list of vampire-y things, but
all right,
there's
hit me with it.
Decapitation.
You can talk while I'm writing.
Oh, so decapitation, fire. What year were these things around? Like how long ago?
Ancient Greece.
I think they had silver back then. It's like a silver sword. A stake through the heart. Wooden stake. We'll say heart removal. Crosses. Garlic.
Have you seen the thing where it's saying that vampires are just anti-Italians?
Yes. Yes, I think that it's hilarious because, I mean,
I find the lineup of things that vampires don't like versus the typical Italian person from Italy. Mm-hmm. Most are Catholic, so crosses. Mm-hmm. Italian food generally has garlic in it, so garlic. Jewelry, very popular. Silver. Mm-hmm. Just a lot of crossovers there. I ain't saying nothing, but
they don't get to have pizza.
You don't have to put garlic in pizza. I mean, like, it's a shame if you don't.
So much better. That's... Oh, I don't know how these vampires work, but typically it is if you kill the one who cursed you.
Oh, so kill the originator.
Yeah, kill the originator. Yeah.
Kill the original.
Okay. That's my list right now. Yep.
Okay, predators are humans, particularly on Saturdays when it's believed they're resting in their graves.
All right, boys, it's Saturday. It's killing day. And tomorrow we'll, appease our sins.
So, exercising.
At first, I literally was thinking, cardio?
Yeah, well, cardio, they hate that.
These things hate cardio.
Oh, they hate sweating. Impaling, it did not state what it was made out of, so I would assume it's either to the heart or the head.
Okay.
Beheading, very good. Chopping them up into pieces.
I mean, decapitation would fall into that. I mean, I feel like that's just...
Decapitation, by default, is just removing the head.
Yeah.
Chopping things up into pieces, very different.
Very overkill.
I mean, they're undead. Everything is overkill.
Oh, God.
And cremation.
Okay.
Uncertain if impaling has to do with the silver or not.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Not too bad.
I would say pretty much the same.
Yeah. Yeah. The whole garlic thing never really made sense to me much anyways.
So these are catacombs, by the way. Mm-hmm. All right, so we're on to breeding. How are new Vrykolakas made? Well, how would you pronounce that?
No, I haven't even seen how it's spelled yet.
I will show you.
Yeah, no, that's pretty much
Vrykolakas.
This is a funny name.
Yeah, how are new ones made?
Breeding. Curses? If you get cursed. And then if you get bit or... I mean, but they don't like suck blood. I mean, they take the liver out.
They take your liver.
So I'm trying to decide if a Vrykolakas is just one without a liver itself, or if it's just like an undead thing. If they can make a new one even after they've been attacked. Yeah, I'm going to stay with bit. I'm not going to go scratched on this one because it's not like a werewolf. That's it.
So cursing and biting?
Yep.
Okay, so a person, if they lived a sacrilegious way of life, was excommunicated, buried in unconsecrated ground, or ate the flesh of a sheep that was wounded by a wolf or werewolf.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't think werewolf was gonna come in here, did ya?
I didn't think it would. Huh.
Yes. Another way is by knocking on the door of a home and calling out the people's names who live there. If the call goes unanswered, they move on to the next home. If someone in the home answers or answers the door, is believed that they will die and become a new Vrykolakas in the next few days.
Joke's on them. I never answer my door.
This is me. Looks just like me.
Yeah. Spot on.
Status.
Not doing well because I've never heard of these things.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh.
It's the same image for this one since it's so short.
I'm still. I don't think they're either not around or not doing so hot.
I'm gonna give you a hint.
Yeah.
It's very similar to.
Unknown. They're in the UK. They've moved.
Done with you.
So you get a bad joke and I don't. I see.
Yeah. Lore, the Vrykolakas is seen as the forerunner of what is now the modern day vampire, as it existed before any Slavic version of the vampire.
Okay.
Now we can move on to a new picture.
Oh, okay.
Fun facts.
I love how we have fun facts for these.
In 1941 to 1942, do you know what was happening in that time?
I feel like something really big was happening.
Yes.
Oh,
what
yes,
was
World
it?
War II.
Yes. There were about 300,000 Greek who starved to death. This caused cemeteries.
God.
Yep, that's a lot of people. Just to starve
to death.
Yes. Only starving. 300,000 due to starvation. Obviously, this caused cemeteries to overfill extremely quickly.
Oh, yeah.
Families who could not bury their loved ones in consecrated ground would take preemptive steps to keep them from becoming a Vrykolakas, doing things such as beheading the corpse of their loved ones.
So not only do these things now predate the modern day vampires,
Yes.
but this is still lore that people. Dang. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm. If it's still going, I feel like I should have known about these then. Like, I think I do a pretty good job of keeping up on
I don't have it written on here, but it was a fact I had read.
Yeah.
Most current people in Greece have no idea about the Vrykolakas. The modern day vampire and American dramatization of the modern vampire has stepped in and filled in that spot in their lore.
Well, that's actually kind of a worry to me because, I mean, if these people still believe that much, 300,000 people believe that much in these things, that to me almost makes it more real. Because, this is
only 80 years ago.
And, that many people taking that many precautions for something?
Yep, because a lot of these people, just mass graves were dug and people were put into the mass graves just to mitigate the chance of diseases.
Yeah.
That people would actively behead their loved ones.
Jeez.
And put them in.
I would read up more on these guys, too. Yeah, this is...
Yeah, they're very interesting.
Yeah. It's just 80 years ago. Just crazy. I've never, God, okay.
Yeah, this is how I feel about every video we do when I'm getting the facts out. Like, man, this is so cool.
What?
I like facts in history. History in and of itself, always sad and terrible. But it's also incredibly interesting. As far back as...
Holy crap.
Yeah. So up to 6,520 years ago. So long. Graves have been found where the bodies are pinned down in their graves by spikes or stones to keep the person from rising out of their grave. That was another measure people took to make sure that even if their loved one did become a Vrykolakas, there would be no way it could hurt anyone else because it is pinned under millstones, giant stones. They have, it was like spikes like this long driven into the ground to keep them in place.
It almost makes me upset that our dramatization of the vampire has taken over so much, because
well, it's the European vampire, and if you remember, it was just the tiniest part.
Well, yeah, but like if it was Greece, and you said not a lot of Greeks believe in the Vrykolakas?
It's not believe in, it's know about.
No, even worse. Like, this is 6,000 years up until the 1940s.
I mean, people still know about them. It's just not as many people as they used to. You also have to remember that, science is a big thing in the world.
Yeah, but I still believe in, aliens and vampires and werewolves and ghosts. Science hasn't, technically speaking, proven any of those yet.
Correct. All right, our last fun fact. Often the Vrykolakas is described as a cross between the vampire and the werewolf. That harkens back to the if you eat a sheep that was wounded by a wolf or possibly werewolf, which means
crazy.
Werewolf lore
Was also around then.
Also goes back then.
Oh, God.
Greece was having a time 6,000 years ago.
God. I couldn't even imagine, like, that amount of mass panic about, like, these two terrible things back then, on top of, I don't know, the state of the world back then.
Right? Right?
We're gonna go to war, but gotta watch out for these vampires, werewolves, and all these other terrible things out there.
I mean, bad times.
Oh, God.
So, what do you think?
Like I said, I've never heard of these.
I'm
going to try my best to re-educate and bring them back. I especially just like the whole, like, they're like all withery, but like still not dying, and then like turn into people. That's kind of cool.
Very cool. I did not, however, see anything about not going in the sun.
Oh, I totally forgot about that too. Yeah.
So I don't think the sun has any effect on them.
I mean, if they didn't believe that back then, I wouldn't imagine nowadays vampires. Well, it's not like that all of a sudden be like, oh no, now we're scared of the sun. In the last 80 years.
I have no idea. But, yeah. Saying they can't go out and sunbathe, so they're out there stomping grapes, making wine. Their neighbor Nancy, and wouldn't you know it, she came calling at your door, and then you turned into Vrykolakas too.
Ah, dang it. Hate when that happens.
Darn it, Nancy.
Dang it, Nancy.
Well, thank you for joining us today on Stuff Lab, and we'll see you next time. Bye!
Bye.